The notion of movement is soaked into Mural's canvas, both in its artistry and its life story. Peggy Guggenheim gave Jackson Pollock's mural to the University of Iowa in 1959. From there, the painting was shuffled between a variety of buildings, and then it eventually came to live at the Museum of Art in 1969. To have Mural move between multiple locations is a monumental feat. To be able to do this, we start years in advance with a potential borrower. Hi, my name's Catherine Wilson. I'm the manager of exhibitions and collections at the University of Iowa Stanley Museum of Art. One of the cool things about working for the University of Iowa is that I get to work with Jackson Pollock's mural, which is one of the masterpieces of the Stanley Museum of Art's collection.
Whoa, okay. We got an inch before we hit the sprinkler.
Pollock's mural is a massive work of American art, both literally and figuratively. In its crate, it weighs 1.5 tons, is 8 feet tall and 20 feet wide, and weighs 340 pounds. To be able to install this painting, we require a group of 10 people. This world tour of Mural really is made possible by the crate that the Getty provided us. Without this really advanced crate, we wouldn't be able to move the painting to so many locations because it would be getting damaged from vibrations and temperature and humidity fluctuations. This crate makes it very stable for us to travel this painting around the world. Mural will have an entourage of people accompanying it to every site. The first and really most important person is our preparator, who ensures that the work will go on the wall safely. Then we'll have 3 or 4 security guards. Mural will then also need 10 preparators that are provided by the borrowing museum to help with the physical taking of the painting out of the crate and onto the wall. Because it's so big, you have to have a person every 2 feet or so to be able to support the painting. And then their collections manager will also be on site to oversee that all of the preparators are doing what they should be doing, and there will also be a conservator on site to do a condition report of the painting. Whenever the painting moves, it gets a condition report. So it'll come off the wall in, say, London, we'll give it a condition report, and then in Bilbao, its next stop, we will condition report it before it goes on the wall. This ensures that we know if some damage has occurred, we know where that damage happened. Everything related to Mural is on a large scale. This means that the transportation is epic. The insurance for the piece, it's a $140 million estimate as its fair market value, and with that comes a lot of lawyers and insurance representatives. Mural is a painting that requires so much more physical and intellectual effort to be able to move than a smaller painting. To move Mural, we have to get creative often because the painting is so large. We have very few means of transporting it. The first one is via cargo planes. Second one is via semi-truck. So those are our 2 main ones. Semi is how we transport the piece pretty much as soon as we get into Europe. We will then drive all throughout Europe. We won't fly it from different airports. The first stop on Mural's world tour was the J. Paul Getty Museum in Los Angeles. We had Mural's trip start here because they did conservation of the painting for us. This conservation took about 2 years, and after the conservation was over, they set up an exhibition of Mural that focused on the things they learned from the conservation of the piece. This was one of their most popular shows ever, which I always think is amazing, but people really do like to learn about the behind the scenes of museums, and art conservation is one of those big ones. After really perfecting how to move the crate in the real world, we were then able to go on to the Peggy Guggenheim collection in Venice for the exhibition in 2015. I think that was its first time on water as far as transportation was concerned. We had to use a boat to traverse the different canals in Venice because we obviously couldn't drive a semi-truck up. That was an exciting launch to its European tour. The Deutsche Bank Kunsthal in Berlin, Germany. Museo Picasso Malaga in Malaga, Spain. The Royal Academy of Art in London, England. The Guggenheim Museum in Bilbao, Spain. The Nelson Atkins Museum of Art in Kansas City, Missouri. The National Gallery of Art in Washington, D.C. The Columbia Museum of Art in Columbia, South Carolina. The Boston Museum of Fine Arts in Boston, Massachusetts. The University of Iowa Stanley Museum of Art will be thrilled to have Mural back on its walls. Once the new museum is completed, we will be able to have Mural as a focal point for our collection and all of the exhibitions around it. When we were designing the building, we were meticulous about making sure that throughout every stage of getting Mural into the door, that we would actually be able to get it to its designated wall in the gallery. Because it would be really disappointing to come home and not get it on the wall.